Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm delighted as always to be joined Mr. Bob Arum. Bob, press conference today. I mean, it started off slow, but then we got what we wanted at the end there. What was your assessment of that?
Well, yeah, they abused each other at the end, but again, I don't mind that. Words don't hurt. Words are words. They excite people's imagination and so forth, so that was good. That's why I wouldn't allow a stare down, because after what they each said to each other, you don't put two big, massive guys together. Anything can happen.
There was no security up there as well. There was Kate up there, and that was it. And two other girls up there. I mean, putting two heavyweights against each other with no security and stuff like that, like you said, it could have got nasty, especially what was said between the two of them.
It could have got nasty, but forget just getting nasty. It could have ended the fight. That would have, before it started. And that's what, I mean, if these guys started pushing each other and there was nobody there to even break it up, I mean, a punch could have landed and that would have been canceled the fight. You know, and while they're two professionals, both guys are real professional, they certainly, what they said to each other got under each of their skin. So anything can happen. So thank God there was no face-off. We were left with the words, which is okay because words don't hurt. And it's going to be a terrific fight on Saturday.
I'm glad you mentioned words. Now I want to go to Deontay Wilder's words. I mean, he seems very, very adamant, and he continued with his accusations that Fury cheated and stuff like that. Do you think that Wilder honestly believes that Fury cheated? Because Fury did list off a list of things that was accused of Tyson Fury. But do you believe that Wilder honestly believes all that?
Well, first of all, you have to assess what's happening in the country. When you have a man who should have sense because he was president of the United States say that an election was stolen and that when they counted the votes, somehow there was machinations and his loss should have been a gain. That attitude, which a lot of people adhere to, permeates in certain parts of the country, particularly in the area where Deontay Wilder lives. So nobody who follows the ex-president saying what he did puts any stock in truth. Say anything, throw any amount of shit against the wall, and something hopefully will stick. You know, what he's saying is ridiculous, but look how smart Tyson was. Tyson said, look, if he had picked one thing and dwelled on that one thing, people would say, well, maybe, we don't know everything. But now you pick 6 bizarre things, including the referee being drunk, right? Including his own corner drugging him, including Tyson loading his gloves, where Wilder's people were in Tyson's dressing room when he put on his gloves. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. It's so, everybody of any sense knows that it's ridiculous. And does Wilder believe it? Who the hell knows? Does Trump believe that he really won the election? Who the hell knows? But he didn't win the election, and none of these things happened.
We're in for a fun night. I mean, it's been a long time coming, 20 months in the making for this trilogy fight and stuff like that. But for you, this is the final chapter, isn't it, Bob? There's no more.
Yeah, you never say never. It's a crazy world. But there is no contractual obligation on either fighter to fight each other. I think as far as Tyson is concerned, I can't talk for Wilder, but as far as Tyson is concerned, we're looking at other opponents. He wants to keep busy, probably as early as February. So, I don't see a fourth fight between these guys in the foreseeable future.
Bob, that brings me on to my next question perfectly then, because you said Tyson's looking for other opponents. He's looking maybe early February. Now, the WBC have just released that Dillian Whyte is mandatory if he gets through. He needs to get through Otto Wallin as well. on October 30th, but he is mandatory now for the winner of this fight. Talk to me about that. That is a tasty fight, especially for us in the UK, with Tyson Fury if he gets past Wilder against Dillian Whyte. Your thoughts on that?
Well, this happened to Dillian Whyte all the time. Last time it happened where he was mandatory, he fought the Russian guy, Povetkin, and got knocked on his ass. Let me tell you, this Wallen guy, the Swede, is a hell of a fighter, and I look for Wallen to clearly beat White, so I'm not even taking it into consideration. I don't think White gets by Wallen. Wallen's a really good fighter, and I don't think White's a good fighter.
I was going to say, why do you think that then? Because obviously White is a big puncher and stuff like that. He's probably more suited to Wallen in terms of the size and the backhand and stuff like that. Is you basing it on the Wallen Tyson Fury fight that happened a wee while ago?
Among others, yeah. Wallen gave as good as he got in that fight. And forget the punch that caused the cut on the eye, but don't even forget that. Even that, Wallen is a hell of a fighter, and I don't think Dillian Whyte is. So we'll see.
What opponents you looking for then? I mean, the heavyweight division, although the undisputed fight might not be there because I think Joshua has activated the rematch clause against Usyk. So in terms of opponents, I know we've got a heavyweight stacked card here on Saturday, but what names have been thrown about there?
Well, we're going to all sit down, everybody involved in the heavyweight division, sit down, if Tyson Fury wins, and figure it out. For me, the best scenario would be for Tyson Fury to fight Usyk, one champion, and with a contract for the winner to fight Joshua. I think that's what everybody would want to see. Whether that can come about, I don't know.
Do you need to speak to Eddie?
I talked to Eddie about it, and again, I said, Eddie, here's what I've been telling everybody, what I think should happen. And obviously, Joshua has the rematch provision with Usyk, and he has to agree, Joshua, and you have to agree. And Usyk, I haven't talked to Usyk, he was a good friend of mine, about fighting Tyson Fury. But that seems, if we could put that together, that fight, plus the fight with Joshua, whoever wins the Usyk-Tyson Fury fight, that would make a lot of money for everybody.
Okay, then how confident are you that you can pull that off?
I'm not confident at all, but I throw this out for everybody who may be involved to discuss. Certainly it's worth discussing. Now, whether it comes to fruition or not depends on what everybody figures, but I think that would be the way to go, because the truth is if Joshua fights Usyk again, the chances are very likely that the result is the same. Usyk is a tremendous boxer. He's left-handed. Joshua shows no real ability to fight a southpaw. And can he learn? Maybe. But, you don't go in against a skilled southpaw like Usyk and expect to change your tactics and beat him. Based on their performance, I gave Usyk 9 rounds, maybe 8. What's Joshua going to do to beat him? I mean, and again, people say, well, Joshua should go forward and beat the hell out of, bully him and so forth. But look what happens when he tried to do it in the 12th round. He nearly got himself knocked out. Another 10, 20 seconds, he would have been knocked out.
It's all good talking about this, but Dillian Whyte, if he does beat Wallen, then Fury does have that mandatory. I know how your feelings on mandatory and stuff like that, but Dillian Whyte has been waiting a long time. I think it's up to 600 plus days now that he's made for a fight, maybe even longer. In fact, I might be wrong, but I mean, he deserves a shot, doesn't he, Dillian Whyte?
Well, the fact that he didn't get it was his own fault because he got knocked out by Povetkin. But again, if the unification fight can't be made, and Fury ends up fighting Dillian Whyte, so be it. It's not a bad fight. Yeah, of course, in Vegas. That's where the big fights belong here, because sometimes you do it in the UK, but the pay-per-view in the United States is robust. The gate, once there's no travel ban, which is we lifted in November, 10,000 Brits would come over here for the fight, and they want to come to Vegas, and Vegas is made for those kind of tourists, so it works better here than any place in the world.
Definitely. I totally agree, man. I've been to Vegas 6 weeks this year alone now, so I'm almost sick of Vegas. Almost, but I'm not. Bob, I want to touch on Teofimo Lopez. Eddie Hearn's got that on DAZN now against Kambosos. You're going to work with Eddie Hearn again. You must be delighted about that. So just talk to me about that.
Well, Teofimo Lopez, I really feel sorry because it was a career win for him over Lomachenko, and he hasn't fought in a year. So with this nonsense. So at least now he'll get the fight. I don't think he has trouble with Kambosos. Eddie will do a good job on the promotion. And then Teofimo wants to go up to 140 pounds. And we'll either try to make a Taylor fight right on, assuming Taylor beats Catterall, and then go from there. That would be a real good attraction, Taylor against Lopez.
Definitely. I know Taylor. There was talk about Josh Taylor fighting Terence Crawford as well, but Crawford's got his signature fight now. He needed to fight a top 10 opponent and a top 5 opponent in Sean Porter, so it's looking good.
Let me tell you the truth. Taylor has a real good chance with Teofimo. He has no chance with Terence Crawford, as I see it. No chance. Maybe we'll see some flaws in Terence against Porter, but Terence is a special kind of welterweight.
Yep. It's not long to go now. November 20th, I think it is, for Terence Crawford and Sean Porter. But Terence did need that name. He did need a dance partner like Sean Porter, didn't he?
No question about it. And Porter's a nice young man and a terrific fighter, and he has the ability to give Crawford problems because of the way he fights. He roughs up his opponent, and he may smother Crawford so Crawford can't get his combinations going. Crawford's a great combination fighter, so we'll see. That's what people pay money to see. But I'm looking forward to Crawford and Porter.
Bob, there's not many times I disagree with you, but being that I am Scottish and Josh Taylor's a friend of mine, and I'm going to say that he does give Terence Crawford problems.
Well, he might. Josh Taylor's a great fighter, really terrific fighter. He beat Ramirez, who's a hell of a fighter. So maybe he does. He's has some great wins on his record. Prograis and Blanchek, who before Blanchek, had this crazy battle with Zepeda. So Josh Taylor's a hell of a fighter. There's no question about it. But I don't know whether when he goes up in weight to 147, whether he'd be as successful as he's been, particularly against a guy like Crawford. But that's why they do the fights. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Well, Bob, I won't keep you much longer. It is getting late now here in the media room now, so I'll let you get on and enjoy the rest of your evening. So thank you so much for doing this Vifo TV, and I'll see you at the weigh-in tomorrow.
My pleasure. It's great to see you Brits over here, Scots or Brits or UK people. Great to see you over here. Too bad we can't have a lot of spectators from your part of the world.
Soon, Bob,
but
soon.
Yeah, but it's our fault with that stupid travel ban. But thank God, November 1st, it's a thing of the past.
Definitely. Well, Bob, thanks again, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, Bob.